Okay, so it's nighttime now. We're gonna go through a bunch of things in the menu, so we don't have to venture into the cold, dark, evil world. We're currently taking shelter in the southern Love Shack.
Love Shack.
There are two of these buildings that look like this, by the way. We call them the Love Shack. Someone else will tell you why. In fact, I'll go into Mumble and Ask at some point, but um, I'm just taking shelter in this Love Shack so no one shoots me. But I'm going to go through the list of craftable things. We've got the wooden barricade. Useful to put up around your house, maybe to give you some cover in a firefight. So, say someone's shooting you, you can dash behind your wooden barricade and you've got a little bit of cover. You can pop out and shoot people with it. Your campfire, which we've already crafted one of these. We've already explained what it's for. Sleeping bag. Sleeping bags are really useful. You need cloth to make these. You put one down, and it's not actually used for sleeping. When you log out of the game, you fall over and just go paff, and you fall asleep, and you are entirely attackable. You're prone. Most servers, I think, have play with the setting that when you log out, you're still on the server. Your body is still there. You could just be someone could just walk up to you and you're totally prone. They can just kill you, take all your stuff. So this is why people build houses. This is not a safe house. Obviously, there's a big front door. If someone wandered in here and I'd logged out, I'd just be paffed out across the floor and they'd be able to kill me. A sleeping bag doesn't help. A bed doesn't help. What these do is if you are killed and your sleeping bag remains in the world, you will wake up, you will respawn at that sleeping bag. The difference between the sleeping bag and the bed, other than the massive difference in resource cost, is that a bed can only be placed indoors, and unlike a sleeping bag, you can respawn at a bed any number of times. You can respawn at a sleeping bag any number of times, but there is a cooldown of 5 minutes when you respawn at a sleeping bag. It puts the cooldown on for any sleeping bag within 100 meters of that sleeping bag as well. So, only really something that's pertinent for if someone's raiding your base. You're going to want to have a bed in there, so that if you respawn and want to continue the firefight, you can do so as many times as you want in a smaller time frame as you want. Wooden storage box, pretty useful, used for keeping your loot in. They require only 30 wood, and they have, I think, 12 slots for putting stuff in. So not much wood. That's about a third of the wood in a wood pile. You do get large wooden storage boxes. You can't make them from the get-go. You need to find a blueprint, or alternatively find a research kit and a large wooden storage box and use the research kit on it. We'll get into research kits later when we find one. Wooden door. This is for your wooden doorways. Wooden door wouldn't fit on the edge of. Let's light up this area for a bit. A wooden door wouldn't fit here because this is the Love Shack and you can't build on it, except for this strange whatever. Wood shelter. This is what a lot of people build at the start of the game, and you'll see them all over the place. They don't require the usual foundation that a lot of the parts of a building require. Normally, to build a house, you would be required to build foundation first, and then you build. You can build a ramp up to the foundation. You can build stairs on the foundation. You'll need to build pillars around it if you want to place walls and ceilings, and then you can put doorways in, windows, and then window bars on the windows to stop people jumping through them. And all of these things, apart from the metal window bars, which require metal fragments, require wood planks. Wood planks, near the top of the list in the resources section. It's the same as wood, except it takes 10 wood to craft one wood plank. So it's sort of a step up from wood. If you get to the stage where you're not using most of your wood for furnaces and for fires, you probably just want to turn it into wood planks because it'll take up less space. The maximum amount of space taken up by any one stack is 250. With certain other items it's lower. For example, arrows only stack up to 10, but most items, ammo, animal fat, cloth, resources, that kind of thing, and wood, they all stack up to 250. So you may end up finding you've got loads of wood. You can just turn a bunch of it into wood planks, which take up 10 times less space. 10% of the space is probably a better way of saying that. For if you're wanting to build and expand a large house, or a small house, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a good reduction method. Low grade fuel. This is something you need for lots of things. The furnace you need low grade fuel for, because I don't know why you need low grade fuel for your furnace, because you put wood in the furnace, and that's what runs. Whatever. Low grade fuel you use to make a furnace. You also use it to make a torch, which is the thing illuminating us right now. I could be a lot more resource friendly and just dump some wood in that fire, and that would be just as good. Low grade fuel requires animal fat. Animal fat, surprisingly important. I would recommend not throwing away your animal fat. Animal fat is used in making low grade fuel and explosives. Later on, you're probably going to find that animal fat is one of your limiting factors in building explosives, because the rest of the resources are quite readily available, and you just have to run up to them and hit them to get the resources. Like sulfur to make gunpowder and metal fragments. But low grade fuel is gathered off animals, and later on you've probably got enough chicken and stuff. You're just going to chuck away the animal fat, but don't. Keep hold of it, turn it into low grade fuel, and store it somewhere. Find a safe place to store it, because you're going to need it. Workbench. That's this thing over here. It takes 8 stones, 50 wood. It allows you to build some specialized items, low quality metal being an example. Low quality metal is the metal equivalent of wood planks. Takes up less space, 15 less space in this instance, and is used to build some of the much more complicated and exotic things, none of which we have on our list yet, because we haven't found either the blueprints or actual copies of those things yet. So that's something we'll come back to later. Spike walls and large spike walls. We've seen Zen and Monkey playing with those. Still not sure what they were doing. They're sort of spiky barricades, but they will do you... oh, let's set this fire, because the fire's gone out. Let's put loads of wood in there. There we go. So now we're in comfort, and we've got a small fire. Not as bright as the torch. Bit smoky. Whatever. Carbon monoxide. See the crafting menu. Mysteriously disappears. Your spike wall and your large spike wall. I think the only difference between them is the size. Obviously the size. What an incredibly stupid thing to say. Lengthways, the size and height. A large spike wall is much longer and much taller. There's hello. DC, how are you doing, old bean?
Not bad, how about you?
Yeah, excellent. I'm just standing by this fire because I'm rather chilly.
Ah, well, I've got proper clothes on, so I'm quite warm.
I've got cloth clothes, but you know they're only doing so much of a job. Also, it's dark outside, so I'm showing everyone how you do things from in here.
I see. Well, you can carry on with that.
I shall.
My way.
All right, enjoy whatever it is you're doing.
You know exactly what I'm doing.
I do know exactly what he's doing, and he was probably really disappointed that he found me, because DC likes to murder people. If you join us on this server, run away from him. In fact, if you see someone in Kevlar, run away. Okay, back to the stuff. Spike balls. Okay, if you run up to them, they deal you damage. So trying to jump over them is a bit silly. You've got the wooden gateway and the wooden gate. It's for building an outer wall without it just being the wall of your house. They're pretty cool. The gate goes inside the gateway, obviously. But that's something that's kind of destroyable. You can just go up to it with a hatchet and... Thanks, DC! DC clearly antagonized by the fire, runs in, dashes it out, and runs away again. What an interesting fellow. Let's eat some more granola bars. Nom 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 nom. Okay, so wooden gateways and wooden gates. With wooden doors, wooden gates, wooden shelters, those three things, they can be destroyed just by taking out your hatchet and hitting them. They take a lot of hitting. You could also deal them damage by shooting them. In fact, you can get rid of things like workbenches and stuff just by hitting them like that. Oh, that was disappointing. Normally they take a fair number of more hits, but I realised that that workbench already was pretty degraded because it was black and probably about to disappear. He's come in and turned off that fire again. He's really enjoying that. I'm sure that's causing him an immense amount of merriment. He's doing it again. He's running around in circles with a torch. Strange creature. There's a lot of trees, some rocks, grass. I mean, it does look pretty, and there's a sky. There's the sea. Oh, isn't this nice? Isn't this lovely? Yes. There's nothing terrifying yet.